Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be breaking down the stock market. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to get daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of long term and short term setups, definitely check out that link down below in the description for Patreon. And now, let's get right into the market. All right, so Tesla stock closing at a record high, rally around Musk robotaxi hype despite slow EV sales. So when EV is not working, Mr. Musk going towards robotaxi, AI, SpaceX, maybe that one will go public as well. So these are things that are happening in the market right now. Now, what market did today, you can see Dow was actually down 0.62%. We have Nasdaq after going down finishing in the green 0.23%, S&P down 0.24%, and Russell going down the most 0.81%. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500 on top, leading the way. Technology, consumer cyclical, that's because of Tesla. Communication services, utilities, and then look at the rest, everything in deep red. And look at the hit that actually energy took today, down nearly 3%. So definitely something with energy stocks and especially oil, crude oil, definitely sniffing something that we are not seeing. I mean, that thing just crashing at this point. Stock market map, what do we have here? Well, one man show, you can see Tesla was up 3%, Amazon flat, Apple flat, Microsoft pretty flat. We got Oracle up 2%, PLT up 2.46%, Google down 0.5%, Meta up 1.49%. We have Nvidia going up 0.81%. We got some macro data coming up. We had some today, and you can see the key thing I want to point out here, guys. Unemployment rate went up 4.6. It was 4.4 before, but again, we added some jobs, so that was good. Market kind of, saw what came out and then pretty much recovered at the end of the day. But tomorrow, and especially going into Thursday, we have CPI inflation data that is coming out. We also have Michigan consumer sentiment on Friday. So that is going to move the market this week, and we'll see how that goes. And now I think we need to talk about S&P 500 because it's stuck in a range, and we'll see if that one can break out to possibly that 700, 7,000 on SPX and 700 on SPY ETF. So on SPY ETF, it's down 0.27%. And what's happening here, we did close that gap right here at 876. After that, move to the downside, we found some buyers, things went back up, but look at what's happening. You can see this range right here, that 679. Since we broke from that range, it was trading over that. So now we have a lot of overhead supply here. And this level has to break. It was trading at 680 plus, and I was actually chatting in my Discord that we need to stay over 680 if things are gonna push higher. But that didn't take place end of the day, and you can see we closed at 678.87. But come tomorrow is another day. If bulls are able to get over that 679 range, maybe even 680, and stay over that, then the game on for a move back up to that 685 and possibly going back up to all-time highs. Now, this is critical here, guys, that gap fill reversal should hold as a support. And then right here at 674, 676 to 674, this has to hold right here. If this does not hold, I mean, there's going to be a lot of pain for the bulls. There might be another move to the downside, which could be the weekly expected move at 670 here on SPY ETF. On VIX is actually down on the day 0.12%. So what I'm actually not buying this selling today. You can see VIX is still around this level where it can spike, and it did, but we can't get over, especially like 18 bucks. Even today, it came up to almost closer to 18, like 17 and some change, but gave back all the gains and went back to where it actually came from. And you can see it's still sitting around that $16 range. So Nothing, pretty much a flat day on VIX. If this thing spikes back up and gets over 18, that's when I'll be careful that market can actually pull back 2, 3, 4%, maybe even more than that. But so far, I'm just not seeing that. But also keep that in mind. If the market goes back up to all-time highs or near all-time highs, we got to be careful. This thing will be pulling back into these areas where I actually warned you guys that from this 14 to 15 dollar level, this thing gets a massive spike, and it did right after that. The next day, right here, massive spike back up to 18. So you got to be careful if this thing pulls back a little bit more into this area right here. You can see it's highlighted here. There's a lot of trading here, and whenever we get to especially bottom of the channel around that 14 to 15, that's when things are just frothy, and this thing will spike back up. So watch out if this thing can hold 16 and possibly gets over 18. That's when you're going to see a lot more selling in the market. As of right now, there is not a lot of selling in the market. We're not just seeing massive selling and just not enough sellers in the market. People are still buying those dips. So the dollar also actually pretty flat on the day, and you can see it came under 98 and then went back up. So 98 kind of holding right there. If this thing can hold, maybe we get to see some sort of a move back up to 98.95. But so far, that's just not the case. So watch out. I mean, this thing definitely not moving to the point where I would say, hey, careful. The dollar is moving really fast, and that's not good for S&P 500. Silver was down today 0.65%, nothing big, after a massive move, just consolidating. So we'll see how that goes. If this thing gets over 58, then maybe we get to see 60 plus. But as of right now, there is a gap around that 52 level right down here, and it's so far, nowhere near bottom of this candle, which is 55, and also not at the top of the range where we saw that all-time high. So silver just range bound, just getting a lot of consolidation here. We'll see how that goes going into tomorrow and into Friday's session. Gold, so there is not much going here on gold. It was down, I think, nearly 1%. But again, the dip buyers came in and bought up the dip and just consolidating right now. So not much happening here on gold. On triple Q, it's up 0.20%, so nothing big. But look at the move here on triple Q, guys, and it's not really looking good, even though we did finish the day in the green. And why? Because it's below these moving averages, below that 613 zone. So we intraday we actually got over 613 just before closing. You can see it on 5-minute time frame, but immediately things came back down before closing. Bear is doing a great job not letting it recapture that critical zone, these two moving averages, and where we got rejection before, and even this rejection. So if bulls are going higher, market needs to hold up here, especially here on Nasdaq. It needs to hold up and get over that 613 range. If that happens, you're going to see a push towards that 617, and then we can talk about more upside with all these macro data coming out, especially end of the week, and there is a massive OPEX. Options are going to expire in, I don't know, millions, billions worth of options are expiring, guys. Huge, huge amount. And whenever that happens, you're going to see a lot of chop. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, yes, things came down today, went back up. So that's basically chop, right? We're not getting a directional move. And usually after OPEX, you're going to see a directional move in the market. And I think that's coming come Friday and onto next week. If Santa is coming and there's going to be some sort of a rally, definitely it's going to come next week after OPEX. So here on Qs, I'm slightly bearish because we did close below that 613, but things can change very quickly because we know this is the market where buy the dip is better than short the rip, right? So triple Q recaptures, reclaim that 613, then we're heading higher back up to 617 plus. Now, if this thing does not recapture, well, it could be coming back to 604. That's going to be a key zone to watch. 605 right there. And below that, the critical support would be right down here at 600. And so far, we're just ping-ponging in between 613 and 606. So we'll see if the range breaks come tomorrow. And here's my X account. And if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription, nothing. It's totally free. And you can always ask me a question here to get a faster, quicker response right here on X. Now, I do want to share these fantastic trade ideas that we took just a couple days ago, and these were just too good, especially if you got in at the right time and you held and you did exactly what I did. You can see DIA, these puts right here, guys, huge, triple down, best opportunity, don't miss. And December 11th, 11:48 a.m. You can go and see where DIA was trading. So this fast forward today, massive PG shares that we took December 8th. It was trading at 138, 139, and this one we sold yesterday at almost 145. This was a huge trade as well. So a lot of people ask me all the time, like, do you even trade shares and stuff? We do everything, long term, short term, all the setups. And here's Google. We'll talk about Google here in this video. Even last night, I was saying that 303 gap, it's going to go there, it's going to fill that gap. And this is what we got exactly today. So a lot of people sold, they do not hold. And just the way it shows that you got to be, really patient with your trade. You cannot just, move all over the place and think that you're going to make money. So here's DIA where we took profit. It was really nice, that DIA play. And there is so many other plays that are on Patreon. So if you're really serious about trading and you want to do this really full time, and I'm talking about only serious people, guys. So if you're not serious, just ignore or skip this part. Definitely, if you're serious about it, check out the link down in the description for Patreon, and you get all sorts of trade ideas, shares, long term, short term, options, anything you need. On Dow, it's down 0.66%. So what happened here? Well, I don't know about all the people out there, but I made a shit ton of money today shorting Dow because I had a small position. It was actually initially green here on this drop right here. We did not close the position because we had a lot of time. And then what happened, guys? This thing popped to a brand new all-time high, stretching upper Bollinger Band and going even, really over the Bollinger Band at one point. And since then, we took these puts right here. Triple down, you guys saw that. Triple down is a word that I use very less, very few times. Really rare, especially when I'm doing something like this, because I saw an opportunity. Same thing goes for IWM. Look at what's happening right now. It gave back how much? Quite a bit, right? And these contracts definitely paid today. We locked in profit and I let it go. Why? Because this is a critical support for 80 and the bounce was there instantly. You can see it actually got up to 483 at one point after getting down to 480 and I just had to get out. Now if it goes back up, especially when I said that, SPY already did close that gap today. Triple Q did it yesterday. There is no gap on IWM, especially with these gaps at the same time. We did close IWM gap a few weeks back. This one has a gap still here. So if it goes back up to, close to all-time highs, maybe another some, ripper to the upside, maybe I'll think about it again. But this thing paid, and you can see the 480 actually held as a support. So now, if we get over that previous all-time high, which was a fake breakout, you can see clearly, unless we go back up and recapture that support, we get over that previous all-time high, 484.44, that would look more bullish for, 490 plus here on Dow. 480 gives up. The next big support would be 476 to 475, 20-day, and then the gap right down here near 472. On IWM, it's down 0.47%. So IWM right here, uh, two kinds of plays that I had. Unfortunately, this Friday, expiration 250 sold for peanuts. We didn't make any money on it. But I also had February 20th, 250 puts on it. Right from the get go, right here, this all time high that we got. And the next day went up a little bit higher. I was just holding, did not even add anymore. We didn't need to add anymore. 250 puts going deep in the money, locked in profit today. So this was a really solid trade today, and this thing paid. Now you can look at something like Tesla right now. People are extremely bullish, and this is how they were when this thing broke out and hit an all-time high. Same thing with Dow. People posting charts on X and saying, "Oh, the small caps just broke out. It's so bullish, it's just gonna go to 300 or whatnot." I was short at that point because when people post a lot of these bullish charts, usually that don't work. And this is exactly what happened. This was a fake breakout. Unless this week before Friday ends, we need to recapture, reclaim previous all-time high, and we need to stay over that, which is going to be that 252 and some change. I would say 253. If that happens, we can recapture that come Friday night when I do these analysis. Then yes, this is just a retest, and we got out. That's why I didn't want to take risk. I got out. We'll see how that goes. So 248 come tomorrow is going to be the key level to watch on small caps. Below that, you're going to see a dump off down to 246, 245. We do have confluence from these moving averages as well. So that's going to act as a strong support. We might be going there tomorrow. Who knows? To the upside, previous all time high has to break this range. That's going to be around 252 and some change. If we can get over that, we'll also have a resistance at 253.66 5-day moving average. And if we can get over all that, then it's really bullish. I would give it to you. Yes, it's going back up to that 258 and possibly even into 260s. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys.